What's up, Activate and Activate Plus participants? This is part two of the first session of your pod work. So, Einstein once said that if I had to solve a problem, I would spend 55 minutes defining the problem and 5 minutes thinking about solutions. And this is such a powerful concept around this idea that problem definition is probably the most important step in the creative process. And so if you remember the diagram that I shared in the first instruction video, we are now moving on to step two, spotting the obstacles. So you're going to clarify the vision that you came up with in part one of this pod work that you're working on together and turn that into a problem statement using a tool called webbing. So webbing is this quick and productive problem-solving tool that allows you to do two things. One, and you'll see this when we show the webbing example, when you move up in the webbing exercise, you're approaching the problem from a more abstract level, and you increase those levels of abstraction basically to try find the deeper why, the deeper thing that you're actually trying to solve. But the power of the webbing exercise is that there's a second part as well, and that's the part where you branch off underneath, and that is to examine the more concrete challenges that are blocking you from achieving that vision. There's a few other twists to this exercise that are important. The other one of them is this idea of statement starters. So taking your vision and turning it into a question has an incredibly powerful effect on your brain. And a way to think about this is to consider these two statements in your mind. The first is, I need a new car. And the second is, how might I get a new car? Do you notice the difference between those two statements? I need a new car is a factual, monolithic, static way of describing that problem. How might I get a new car is still describing the problem, but there is a built-in action or momentum or energy within that feels very different, right? I need a new car. How might I get a new car? It almost invites that problem-solving mindset already. And so we're going to use that in this exercise as well. So let me now, for the rest of this video, transition into a screen share where I'm going to take you through a webbing example so you can see what I mean, how it works. And then you've got the instruction sheet to be able to do this yourselves. I see this as being a very collaborative thing that you do together. So adding branches and almost, anybody can add their own branches and build off each other's. That ability for the three of you to be able to do this together is going to be really, really powerful in terms of getting complete surface area of all the deeper reasons above and all the concrete obstacles below. So let's now dive into the example to give you a better idea visually of what I mean. Okay, so let's say your vision is that you will all exceed quota by the end of the year. Pretty straightforward vision. So the first thing you want to do is to turn that vision into a question. So we might write something like this. Okay. Then from here, remember, above, you're going to be asking, why is this important question? And below, you're going to be asking, what is stopping me from doing this? So an example of how might we exceed quota this year? Why is that important? That might be so that we can get promoted. Okay, so then we would write something like, and remember, we have to change it into a question. Okay, then we're going to ask why else, right? So we're going to have other nodes coming off from here for why else. Let's say another reason of why we want to exceed quota this year is so that we can make President's Club. And importantly, you're also asking why to every answer that you've had. So why is getting promoted important? An answer to that could be that it helps you make more money. And so then you change that to how might we make more money? And now you have potentially, right, a new problem over here that you want to solve. Right. So that's one part of the exercise. The other part is then to look at that original goal and actually ask yourself then what is stopping you? So how might we exceed quota this year? One thing stopping you is maybe you don't have a whale in your pipeline. So we then change that into a question. Another reason might be that you don't have enough pipeline. And so on. And you're going to find what else is stopping you, what else is stopping you, get more options here. And then ask on each of these again, what is stopping you from doing that? So if the goal here is to get a whale in our pipeline, what is stopping us? One option could be C-level relationships. So then we would change that again into a question. And so on and so forth. And so you can keep going on each of these as well. So what I encourage all of you to do is to run this exercise with, again, your vision in the middle over here that you turn into a question. And then above, ask yourself, why is that important? Why is that important? And keep going down the line. And then also why else to get more ideas. And below, what is stopping me from this? And again, get what is stopping me from doing that? What is stopping me from doing that to get further down here? And then keep asking what else to get more options. And every time you answer something, turn it into the question response, because we want that forward motion, that active energy in each of these. And then basically, once you've built out your maps, I want you to look at them. Hopefully, they look a lot neater than my one does. And I want you to then see what is the real problem you want to solve. And this is just an intuitive feeling. You guys, as a group, look at this, discuss it, see what's resonating for you, see what's feeling like the real problem behind the problem that you want to solve. And that's what you're going to submit for the second step of the creative problem solving process. Good luck, and I can't wait to see what you come up with.